Hey there, Vinny from Project Frugal. Off for another walk. I'm going to talk to you about food today and how we budget. We've got $200 a week for food. We generally go to the supermarket once every week or once every couple of weeks. And it's not a hard and fast number for that $200. So part of our food budget, we do have a garden. We don't get a lot of food out of the garden, but we're working on it slowly. So at the moment, pretty much it's tomatoes, yams. We've got some fruit trees. Don't get a lot of fruit out of those either, but it's a work in progress. And when we go shopping, we eat pretty simply. Just your standard sort of food, I guess. We don't buy expensive fish or expensive meat, so there's no T-bone steaks where we come from. However, we just try and shop very frugally. And when we do go shopping, we often got a set list of things that we'd normally buy, such as, I don't know, you name it, we'll buy it. Whether it's coffee, tea, tins of food, whatever it is, doesn't really matter. We'll buy it, and if we're only going for bread and milk, but we happen to be over at the supermarket, they got a fantastic deal on petrol. All you got to do is spend $1 and you get 6 cents a litre off. Pack and save, I highly recommend it. It's way cheaper than the BP and their supposed special deals, because their deals are pretty much rubbishy deals. And you're always paying, every time I go past, you're always sort of paying, I don't know, maybe 10 cents a litre more anyway without the discount, so, or even with the discount. So, well, if we're going for bread and milk, for example, we'll fill up the tank, and I'll do a bit of a gander and sort of go down the aisles to suss out any specials. And if there are some specials, I'm going to take advantage. Could be anything. Could be, they had cherries there the other week. I don't buy cherries very often because it's summer here in New Zealand. I think they were like $9 for 800 grams, so it's a pretty good deal and nice for a change. Try and buy seasonal is obviously going to save you lots of money. And like I say, if anything's on special, we'll go hard. So a good example of that would be my favourite coffee, which is Pam's Instant Coffee. Anyone who knows me knows that I love Pam's Instant Coffee. It's not the cheapest coffee, but it's definitely near the bottom of the cheapest. And when it's on special, sometimes, well, I think at the moment you can get it for $3.79 for 100 grams, but it will go down to as low as $2.99. So as soon as I see it at $2.99 or even less, literally I'll buy the lot. And I don't care if it's 30 packets or 60 packets, I'm going to buy it because I'm going to drink it. It's going to get used, it's not going to expire, it's all sealed. And at the end of the day, let's say you're paying $3 for something that might normally cost $4, you're literally saving 25% of the purchase price. So if you bought 60 packets, well, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg, but you're going to save $60. And we'll invest that money. Win. So that's one example. Also, another thing you can do, we get our food from the local fruit and veggie co-op. We get a packet of food, 6 to 8 different vegetables and fruits. Once a week, it costs $15. It used to be cheaper. We take advantage of that. We get all sorts of different fruits and vegetables. Sometimes it's things we wouldn't normally eat. I mean, you might get maybe you might get parsnips, for example. You might get a mango. Not your usual run-of-the-mill things necessarily. So it does give you a bit of variety when you get those sort of things. And the more meals that you can cook at home, obviously you're going to save a lot more money. Another good tip: chuck all your vegetables that you want to eat, chuck them in a slow cooker. Anything that's just about past its use by date. We bought a whole swag of what was it, red kidney beans, I think it was. Red kidney beans and black kidney beans. They were less than $1 each, about 89 cents at the time. Hello.
Hey.
So we bought a whole bunch of those, and I just pour a tin out of those, chuck it in the slow cooker, chuck in some sort of meat, could be mince, maybe a pickled pork, that's pretty good. Whatever else you got, vegetables like maybe carrots, broccoli, cauliflower, mixed vegetables, you name it, chuck it all in there. You might have an old flavour, some sort of flavour for a one of those sort of ready mixed flavour things. Chuck one of those in there, bit of salt and pepper, some mixed herbs, let it cook down. It's going to take a few hours. Chuck in some mashed potatoes, or boil up some potatoes, they're always pretty cheap. Some more mixed vegetables or some peas or something, mash up the potatoes, and voila, a delicious stew. And you can always thicken it up with a bit of corn flour. So that's a cheap meal, and that can literally last me for 4 days, although pretty much by day 3 you are absolutely sick and tired of eating that sort of food. Another thing you can do, takeaways. Why not do it at home? If you can get a kilo of chips from the supermarket, we've got a deep fryer, it costs us $40 back in the day. Normally we fill it up with olive oil, being a healthier option and all that. Unfortunately, the price of olive oil at the moment is horrendous, so we've had to go for a cheaper option, but we don't have it very often. So you can just cook up a few chips, maybe get some of that pretty manky frozen hokie that you can get, or maybe some chicken tenders or chicken nuggets or something like that. It doesn't have to be extravagant, and you can limit how much you eat as well. Bit of sauce, bit of bread and butter, takeaway night, fraction of the cost, because fish and chips these days are not cheap in New Zealand. You're looking at $5 for a scoop, $5 for a fish, and that's pretty much on the low end. What else? Yeah, definitely having a garden. Having a garden is a major plus, and you don't have to grow everything. I mean, when you think about it, when tomatoes are in season, you might be able to get them for $3 a kilo, right? Is it worth putting in all the effort to grow a few tomatoes? Well, the answer is yes, because for the first thing, they're fresh, they're available, they're literally on the vine, ready to be picked when you want them, within reason. And it gives you some skills. The fact that you can potentially grow your own food is a major plus, rather than relying on a supermarket being open or something else being open. So that's a good thing to do as well. We did used to buy super cheap bread. Wasn't the cheapest of the lot, but it was quite cheap. So we've actually sort of upgraded the bread. We eat a lot less bread now, but it's high quality stuff. We get the it's called Freya's Rogan Brot. It's a dark rye bread. It's got lots of grains and stuff in it. So we are kind of, there's a bit of a compromise between value and the quality of the food that you eat, what you can get for your money. So food doesn't have to cost you an arm and a leg. And let me tell you a story about a guy that I used to play in a band with. His name was Rick. Hopefully you're watching this, Rick. Poorest guy I ever knew. And at one stage, can't quite remember the details, and I might have the details wrong, but apparently he lived in a cave. This is how poor this guy was. And it could have been 6 days, could have been 6 weeks. I think it was 6 weeks, but it could have been 3 days, 6 days, who knows. People exaggerate things. But I do know at one stage his weekly food budget at the time was a 10 kilo bag of potatoes and a 1 kilo bag of mixed vegetables. Now that's going to get pretty tiresome, I'd say. You could have, though I've got to say I love roast potatoes. You could have roast potatoes and mixed veggies. You could have mashed potatoes and mixed veggies. You could have some sort of potato and mixed vegetable fritter. What else can you have? Not a lot else really. Boiled potatoes, maybe a soup with mixed vegetables. Yeah, would get a bit tiresome, but needs must. If you're broke and that's all you can afford, that's better than nothing. And we've got a lot of things available in New Zealand, food banks and government assistance, so really there's no reason why anyone needs to go hungry. You can live pretty cheaply. Like I said before, we never buy expensive cuts of meat. It's normally sausages, some mince, and always shop around. So I'm not necessarily going to get the worst quality, but I'm going to get the best value for money. And chicken is another one. Chicken, sausages, mince, the occasional steak. Obviously not a high-end one, but yeah, because it can be pretty pricey. What else do we buy? Pork. We were going through bacon for quite a while there, but haven't had any bacon for quite a while. Yeah, just pretty much vegetables really. I love potatoes. If there was one vegetable that was the only thing I could ever eat, potatoes are definitely coming at number one. But because we're part of this food co-op, we do get a bit of variety, and always buy mixed vegetables or peas, frozen ones, when I go to the supermarket, just so they're available and we've got them. And always hunting around for any good deals. So when we do go to the supermarket and we buy in bulk, even if we're going for bread and milk, I will just by default scour every single aisle. It doesn't have to be a long look. It's just a quick look, and if there's any bargains there, I might get 1 or 2 cans of something, or if it's a super really good deal, yeah, I'll go crazy, no doubt about it, because we're going to eat it, and it's better to have too much food than not enough. Yeah, so I hope you found some value out of this. Hopefully you have. Hit the like button, leave us a comment, hit the bell notification, and if you've got any ideas for any more topics that I can do a walking video to, let me know down below, and we'll try and accommodate that. And with that, we'll catch you later. Bye bye.